here. Another day in Los Angeles. Another day that I hate being here. Why? Because this isn't the life I want, you know. I don't go outside, I don't exercise, I don't talk to people, I don't do anything. And I'm a person who is a private person, and I guess I'm kind of introverted to begin with, but I was always introverted and still went outside. But I can't do that, not in LA. So I have my petition going about to try and just reach out to people and say, this is your country too. I mean, the Department of Veteran Affairs doesn't want to give me my veteran benefits, but guess what? They don't speak for you. They don't speak for any of us. Because we all say, oh, we care about veterans, but there are donations that you could make directly to veterans, or you could just say, the government injured American soldiers, airmen, seamen, coasties. Pay them. Pay them so that they can go on with their life. And in some cases, you know, start a family or keep the, family off the streets, keep the family together. But that's just not happening. That's not happening at all. Instead of that, I have to say, if I'm not getting my money, I have to get my country. I keep saying countdown to Canada, but I just hate what this country has become. I hate the fact that transgender rights are still an issue in America, and as transgender people would rather picket and hold up a nice little poster than get off their asses and start boycotting major businesses in major states to say, you have to put your money where it should be to protect our rights. That's how you get things done. And by the way, hello to people. Hello there, Mike. Hello there, Mikey. I got 2 mics. It's amazing. I feel so blessed to have you here. Hello, Israel. Hello, Astro Gaming. What about women's rights? I've always supported women's rights. I know that I have PTSD from military sexual trauma, and I'm extremely disturbed when women are near me to the point of running into traffic. But I still support a woman's right to choose. I still support women in STEM. They are geniuses, focused geniuses, which should be respected. But I have been disrespected by women throughout Los Angeles and in the military, which is sad because I had a female major in my unit who was nothing but courteous, absolutely respectful, to the point that I said, yeah, you know what? I look forward to the day that I become an officer, because if I am half as commanding and welcoming as this person is, I think I might be doing the country a great service there. And I had female master sergeants who were also, very abrupt, domineering, but yet still fair and respectful. But that wasn't the case at Lackland. At Lackland, I dealt with Master Sergeant Miranda, who I was very cordial to until I was ordered under military orders to be sexually abused by her. And it's sad because, you know, that just taints everything that comes after that. I've never recovered from that. Okay, so I'm gonna go through some of these comments because a lot of you are coming in here. Why are you trying to look like one? I'm gonna leave that in there. I'm gonna leave that in because I am proud of my Scottish attire. I'm very proud of it. I'm proud to have freedom from what I can only describe as the biggest oppression against men and men's rights. The biggest oppression because a man who wears a Scottish kilt is not afraid of an erection. Americans are afraid of erections. They're afraid of their own erections. They're afraid of the erections of other men, which is why they want to hide their bodies. They want to hide their penis from each other, which is why they wear pants, which is why they wear underwear. But none of them really want to. The minute they get back to their own private homes, they undo a button, they throw their belt across a room, they walk around their homes, just a t-shirt on, no pants underneath. I'm free. I am absolutely free. I enjoy my freedom. I enjoy the freedom to say I'm not ashamed of my body. I enjoy the freedom to say I'm not ashamed of having an erection. But men who wear pants, and yes, some of them like to show it off, and yes, sometimes it does show off a little bit better there, but you have to think how tight and constraining that is that you can't move. Because if you do move, your pants split. I've had pants split on me so many times that I just had to say, the way that I move my body is fluid. It is graceful. I need attire that matches how I move. I've worn my Scottish kilt for nigh on this one particular for a year, and I haven't split it once. Not once, but every pair of pants that I have had has just, it could not keep up with my body, which is terrible because, you know, you can tell it wasn't made in America. All right, so let me get into some of these comments. Hello there, Aviation. Joni, I don't want men in the bathroom with my daughter. I'm going to start with that one because I'm going to go through some of these comments because transgender people, they don't talk, they hold up a poster. And I'm tired of that. I'm tired of transgender people being too timid to have these kind of conversations with people and say, let's address your concerns. Let's address them. Okay, so number one, the safety of your children has always been up to you. It's not the responsibility of transgender people, and to a certain degree, it's not even the responsibility of the government. It's yours. So if you are concerned about your specific child, then guess what? Either your child is of the age to go to the bathroom by themselves, or if they do require help, or you know what, you don't feel comfortable as a parent, then you are the parent. You're the adult. You hold your kid by the hand and say, you know what, we will go to the bathroom together in the family restroom. I will go to a restaurant or a building that has a family restroom, and I will physically be there with you. If you're the parent, I'm just going through the role play of that part. But that's you. That's your responsibility. It's not my responsibility. It's not another transgender person's responsibility. It's not even the responsibility of the restaurant or building owner. It's yours. You're the adult. You make decisions. And I respect your decision to say, you know what, I don't feel comfortable letting my kid out my sight. Good. You're a parent. That's how you're supposed to feel. So if you feel that way, follow through on your feeling. Change where you go, change what you do. That's all. Next question. So you're concerned about my daughter getting her head bashed in, playing a sport against a man. I have to dive in, so I'm just gonna dive in and just be. If I'm rude, I'm rude. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be rude, but women do need to learn that you're competing against men, and it's good to compete against men because sometimes you just kick their ass. Obviously. What am I going to do? Lie? I'm a scientist. Women are just sometimes more qualified in a position. And you want your child, this is something that came out of you. You carried for at least 8 or 9 months, whatever. It's yours. You want that child to grow up and say, I'm going to go into interviews and realize that I have to compete against men. I have to be just as assertive, not aggressive, but assertive. I have to be that commanding. I have to butt heads with them when everything is telling me, just keep the peace. There's emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the greatest skill that a woman has. The ability to say, no, the person working underneath me, I don't have to punch them in the face or hit them upside their head and tell them get back to work or something like that. I can find other ways to do it. I can sit down with them and ask them about productivity. I can ask them what is going on in their life. I can ask if they need help, because some people do. I can be a more efficient boss that raises productivity while keeping employee retention high by, employing the skills of a woman. Men need to learn that too. So as far as sports against men, chess. There are female chess masters. They compete against men. Do I think that there are things like a physical difference between the two? Of course there is. But guess what? Maybe you'll have to learn a brand new play. Maybe you'll have to adapt how you train to reflect your body and what is available to you, the level of strength, the level of agility, endurance. I mean, you may not be able to tackle a guy, in a American football match, let's say that. But you might be able to outrun them. You may be able to, make them gas out. You could do so many things. And that's the kind of skill you need to learn. You don't want your child growing up in a world where everyone is a competitor and your child says, well, no, my mother had me sit out on that. It would make your child a stronger child. But like I say, I'm not the parent of your child. You're the parent of your child. So you parent your child as you see fit. If you say no, guess what? That's your decision. There are parents who might actually say yes. I'm not against parents who say yes, having the ability to have their kids gain this life experience. That's all. Go into some of this. Have you seek a psychiatrist? I have, and I've had to deal with some really unscrupulous medical professionals here in the Los Angeles area, and that's where I live. Even when I was doing telehealth, you know, I could not have people with medical ethics, because that doesn't exist in Los Angeles. I either had a doctor who would see me in public, but, you know, in a way that, you know, there were people around who could hear my own private business or maybe record that. And then I had the other one who put me in a situation that reminded me of my PTSD when I told them specifically, do not do that. So at this point, I'm not seeking the help that I need, and I need help, but I'm not going to get it in Los Angeles, which is sad. And Joni, so trans rights are great as long as women's rights remain intact. They're not mutually exclusive. You can have women's rights, you can have transgender rights. Now, so many transgender people are of the mindset of, you know, we want to, you know, break down all the barriers. I'm of the mindset of just provide the service. If a person needs to use the bathroom, just provide a bathroom. As long as you at least did that, that's fine. If you want to just have it, you know, a state or nationwide law that, hey, you know, if it's family restroom, or it's single use, and have single use restrooms and porta potties available throughout the entire country, if that's how they have to do it, then that's something, you know, because I'm sick and tired of having this discussion, because if you're going to arrest someone for using the bathroom, you're a jerk. You're just a jerk. And I don't want to be in a country of people who think that way. Now, if you want to have your child trained to use the bathroom only at home, that's on you as a parent. But then again, what if you go to a restaurant and your kid has, you know, a glass of water with their drink, and then they have to use the bathroom? I mean, people talk about transgender like they're the only people who have to use it. Everybody uses the bathroom. If you want private use bathrooms, then you have to go to restaurants and you have to call up the building owner and say, is it single use? Is there a family restaurant? Make your life adjustments, because transgender people are here. And they're not asking for more than what they deserve. They deserve the ability to use pretty much any bathroom, because all bathrooms are designed for the use of a bathroom. They're not used for political rallies, but people are turning it into that. And that's what's wrong. All right, let me go into... You said biological women scares you, but it looks as if you're trying to portray them. I don't mind talking about that. When I think about, you know, what I've been through, I would love to, you know, say that I had the ability to devote myself to the gym and eating steaks and and working out all the time and hanging with my bros and enjoying a life with men, but I don't have my disability benefits, so I can't afford any of that. I can't afford the gym. I can't afford to pretty much hang out with men. And also, I'm extremely traumatized, and no guy really wants to hang out with someone who cries all the time or says, "No, I need you to go home because I'm going to scream right now, and I really don't want to see someone who likes me as that screaming veteran," which I am now. And as far as, portraying, a woman or something like that, I'm First Nation Native American, so if I have, hoop earrings or earrings, and these were gifted by my tribe, so I'm gonna wear them as often as possible because this is who I am. I don't care what you people do outside there, but this is who I am. Messy hair, earrings that are long, just a simple rustic shirt. And yes, easy clothing, because that's who I am as a person. I would love to be that person who wears like leather chaps and a harness and all of that, but nah, that's not me. I actually enjoy just being pretty and tending to a garden and making medicine, that kind of thing. I guess I'm more of a traditional person than I am a modern person, even though I am a scientist trying to go to Mars. But maybe that's one of the reasons why I'm more qualified, because I'm not attached to the modern world quite as much. I want a world where, I could be without a cell phone and not have my wires cross because I don't have the cell phone in my hand. Okay, let me... Flint, real men don't give a fuck what they wear. Pants are fine. I want to see what you say about Joni's comment about not wanting men in the bathroom with her daughter. I believe I know I'm like really slow reading it, but sometimes you want to talk too, and I don't have like a separate screen so I can just read all the comments. But to reiterate, what you do as a parent is on you. If you don't want anyone, and let's just say anyone, because I think that's a little bit more to the point, because you don't want unknown women around your kid either. Would you like some unknown woman to come up to your kid and just say, come with me, and just off into the back alley and into a car? You wouldn't want that either. So let's be real about it, okay? You're a parent. That protective nature is a good thing. As a transgender two-spirit person, I'm only going to support that, because I want more parents to want to care about their kids. Because in America, somehow, with all of the, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your kids are? Look at this child. This child has been missing for days, weeks, years. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. You don't stop what you're doing. You don't care. And when it comes to your own kid, you care even less. Because you say every day, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm going this way, you're going that way. And if we both come home, guess what? I guess it was a Monday. Not thank the Lord, thank Buddha, thank everything that everything went right to make that happen. But that doesn't really factor in to the American lifestyle, because in the American lifestyle, it's I need money, I need food, and I don't care about anything else. You care about your family, but not really. Because if you really cared about your family, you'd be there. If you really cared about your family, you would be of the mindset of, you know what? Why the fuck am I spending good money to go to a restaurant where I might be triggered by transgender people? when I could fucking cook at home. You know what? My kid wants a fucking Big Mac. My kid can fucking eat the fucking hamburger that I just cooked on the stove. That's what a parent says. So don't talk to me about transgender people offending you going into a bathroom when you can't get off your fucking lazy ass and cook your kid a meal and say, eat it right there and go piss where I know I can feel safe and comfortable. I'm okay with that. Mommy's dearest, mommy dearest, if that's how you want to handle things, then you handle it that way. Not only are you subjecting yourself to the stress of transgender people being near you, you're subjecting your kid to excess fat and, you know, extra bullying because your kid's gonna get fat from eating out all the time. And also, they're gonna feed off that stress and say, okay, well, if my parents have problems with transgender people, then I'm gonna have problems with transgender people. And you don't wanna see your kid in jail for attacking a transgender person, whatever. Grammatically, I'm all over the place, but you get my point. You know, hate begets hate, and I think in your hearts of heart, you don't fucking hate transgender people. You don't even know transgender people. You live in your life, you live in your lane. I'm saying, you know what? Change your life for the better, because you can only gain if you take yourself out of these situations. You know, I have been fighting with LA Metro about being groped by women on LA Metro, harassed by women on LA Metro. I have a video on my channel of women going out of their way to harass me. This has been going on for like 3-4 years now. LA Metro doesn't give a shit. They don't. They really don't. And now I'm at the point that I say, I could walk to a store or I could just have my shit delivered. Now, this stupid building that I have run by fucking cultists said, you know, that's not good enough. Let me remind you of why you have to have things delivered. So they had women waiting for me for my delivery so that I could be reminded that there would be women somewhere in the picture. Whatever. Either way, I spent a little extra money that I really don't have because I don't have my disability benefits. And you can tell by the stress in my veins popping out just how stressful it is. But guess what? They went that way, I went this way. And now, after that situation, I said, I'm gonna have to make some more changes. So I'm going back to cook your own damn meals in your own fucking place and learn to be a better chef and say, you did a good thing. You learned how to cook. Eat that meal. Eat that meal with your name on it. Why the fuck are you eating a meal with a fucking logo? A fucking logo. Is that your name? Is that your name? No, it isn't. Okay, can you guarantee that this is healthy for you? No, you can't. Do you love it? Do you really love it? No, I don't think you do. I really don't think you do. Because every time that I would buy a meal from these people, I'd be like, no, that's not how you cook it. And then I have to recook it. I'm sorry, I had to re-prepare it. I just had to do it again because I didn't like how they prepared it because I prepared a different way and I prefer my own recipe. So it just baffles me that Americans, as smart as they are fighting transgender people when you don't realize transgender people aren't your fucking enemy. Your enemy has always been your fucking self. Your enemy has always been this capitalist society that has forced you into uncomfortable situations, and your response to it has always been, well, I'll just give more money to be offended. If you truly have an issue with fucking transgender people being around you, pull your money out. If you have a problem with transgender people in your school's athletics, pull your kids out. Because guess what? America's shooting your fucking kids in the face. America does this. No other country is really... I'm sorry, I get emotional when I start talking about this because I shouldn't laugh, but I'm just baffled. I'm baffled because I live in a country of people who say, well, in those other countries, they are just not advanced. We in America, we got our shit together. I'm like, I'm sorry, you shoot kids in the face. How together fucking are you if you do stuff like that? So if you have a problem with transgender people being around you, being in your businesses, being in government buildings, being in your kid's school, guess what? Pull out. Pull out, save a shit ton of money, and go on fucking holiday. The amount of money that you go to a place and you're just offended because transgender people eat, it's shit. Guess what? Save that money and go to the fucking Poconos. Go to the fucking Poconos and just sip your fucking tea and just enjoy your white privilege life. Because only a white privileged person is really that offended by it. Black people and Hispanics, for the most part, they go, I still contend with some of the transgender phobes that transphobes that are in this particular neighborhood, but for the most part, I wear a fucking beautiful Scottish kilt. I bend over and I pick up dog shit when my dog shits, whatever. And guess what? They don't really get a view because it's not that windy here. But they don't give a shit because they got stuff to do. They got more important things to do in life. They're not going to factor in, but then if I say something, I have to talk to this person. I don't want to do that. And they just go about their day. And if that's the best that they can offer, take it. Fucking take it. Transgender people need to be of the mindset that this is never going to be a tolerance or acceptance. It is going to be stick to your own or tell them to go fuck off. All right, let me get back to the comments. Wear pants that fit. I haven't come across a single pair of pants that fits me whatsoever. I have nothing but issues with these fucking pants. All right. Kind of throwing me off a bit. The kilt is mostly a man attire. It is. And guess what? I'm two-spirit transgender. I'm still in... You see, for the longest time, I was of the mindset of, well, I'm non-binary. I'm mostly a Scotsman more than anything. Scotsman, native, indigenous, whatever you want to call it. I'm more that than anything else. And I was always saying, non-binary. But then I said, these transgender people are just out there on an island. And what the fuck do you think this is? Because the end goal for me is not surgery. The end goal for me is wear a fucking king robe, a crown, jewels on me, and don't think for a fucking second that you don't want that too. Because you let yourself believe that, the sign of wealth and affluence is a suit and tie. No, it isn't. The sign of true wealth, the sign of true affluence is a robe. Because a robe means that you're your own boss. A robe means that you don't have to conform to fucking anything. A suit and tie is nothing more than a collar that you can put on a dog. And look, you taught them a new trick. Show up at 8 o'clock on the dot, or you don't get a treat. All right, let me get back into some of these comments. There's not always a family restaurant that's an... No, it isn't. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. You decided to stick penis into vagina. Yes, you did. It felt really, really good. I know it did. So you stuck penis into vagina, and then 9 months later, after this, in multiple position, sometimes two different guys, so you never know who the father is. Yeah, yes, you did. Yeah, you did. And sometimes they rub together because they're a little gay, but they don't want to admit it, but it's okay. It's okay. It feels good. It feels good. So you stuck that in there, and there's a kid now. And guess what? Your life revolves around that. You didn't really know how to do it before, but you're kind of fumbling around. You feel this sense of protection. Guess what? That's on you. I didn't fuck you. None of those transgender people fucked you. You fucked yourself. So you fucking take yourself back to mommy daddy school and learn how to fucking parent. Because learning how to fucking parent means you know where every bathroom is, you know where every mainline telephone is, you know where every CPR kit is. Because if you don't, you're just a shitty parent. And we can have that conversation, but we're not going to have a conversation about whether or not someone gets to use the bathroom. That's not happening. Cool. Thanks. All right. Joni, 99% of people are with you on this one. Maybe so. Maybe so. But legally, I'm just gonna have to be that bitch that says it's either gonna be in a toilet or it's gonna be up on your fucking walls. You choose. Change what you do and stay out of the women's bathroom. I have PTSD from military sexual trauma. I'm not going into those fucking bathrooms. So that's not me. I've had a woman sexually abuse me in the military. All women can go fuck themselves. So that's not a conversation for me. Just so we're clear. Transgender people, there's a larger conversation, and guess what? Have that conversation. We're having that conversation on their behalf because my lifestyle is this. I don't fucking go out anywhere. I only pretty much use single use. I actually prefer to use the men's restroom. So, whatever. So now that we're clear on that, I'm not really speaking on my behalf. I'm speaking more on the behalf of transgender people who have maybe done the surgery or haven't done the surgery, or, you know, they present more as a female or present more as a male or whatever that you know, whatever they decide, you know. You can't deny someone the ability to use the bathroom, especially when the burden of parenting is always on you. And I want you to take that hypervigilance toward being mommy of the year and apply it to everything. I'm not denying your need to be protective. I'm not denying your need to be a good parent, but a good parent would be a good parent throughout the rest of it. Are you taking care of your kids' homework? Are you doing the homework with them? Are you checking for the report cards? Now, I know that that doesn't seem to factor into the transgender bathroom rights, but once again, those uneducated brats grow up to be transphobes. The more education they have, the less likely they are to be bigoted. You might be bigoted, but that doesn't mean your kids have to be. So let's move along with some of this. There is no competition. We are not equal. Well, whatever. Women are the value. Believe what you will. Like, I've already given compliments to women on this channel. You know, like I say, I have been sexually assaulted by the women of LA, and I've been sexually abused by the United States government. So between that, you know, women can go fuck themselves politely. Chess isn't a physical sport, genius. Well, you know what? Going for a job isn't a physical sport either, but there are so many women who are so timid that wouldn't shake a hand if that needed to be, or closed a deal to get a managerial position. They're too timid to approach subordinates and tell them to follow company guidelines. And it's mostly because they didn't grow up around men. They grew up around other women, and they just said, well, you know, to keep the peace, if, you know, my sorority sister says that, you know, I have to act a certain way, then I just follow what she says because she's the den mother, and, you know, anything she says. And that kind of hive mentality that women go through, which has been passed down for generations, has hurt them in the workforce. I'm all for equality in the workforce. I think that women and men need to learn from each other. So that's just how I feel. If you feel differently, then you be the parent. Parent your own kid, sort out your own life. That's all. Let me go through some of these. Oh, I disagree with your entire premise. Why on earth would a woman lower herself to compete with a man? Probably because it'll make you a stronger person. Why do you think that disgusting female master sergeant sexually abused me? She didn't really sexually abuse me because she hated me as a person. She sexually abused me because the men who were over her, had more rank than her, had put her down. So the only thing that she could do was just pay it forward and just continue that cycle of abuse against someone who was trying to do their calculus homework. Lord Alcatraz, brain rot. I think it's brain rot to waste our time as a nation talking about this specific issue. It should be either we're locking all the bathrooms across America against transgender people, or we're opening all bathrooms to transgender people in America. Not state by state, not city by city, not business by business. It's one or the other. Because either way, transgender people are going to have to make some harder choices and say, do I live in the America that takes my money and then treats me like shit? Or do I live in an America that I freely give my money to because they respect my civil liberties as an American citizen? Because transgender people aren't having that kind of conversation. They're having a conversation of, can I make a poster and then hold it up in a protest? Not, can I vote with my dollar? And that's what they need to do. All right. As a woman who grew up playing sports, there is no way we could ever compete with the boys. I don't know who your coach was. I don't know who it was, but if Sue Sylvester would be able to see how you trained as a team, they might actually come up with a study. What you think men have it easy competing against other men, they had to create strategy. I don't know why you think that sports is just a contest of strength. It's a contest of minds as well, but oh well. We have the right to not have dingle danglers. Did you really say? Oh, wow. 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 Such foul language from Mommy Dearest. Such foul language. But you spread those legs. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And sometimes on the face. Okay, so of course you have that right. I'm not denying that right. Who the fuck says that? What the fuck is this? Okay, I love YouTube. I really do. Because you get to actually savor these moments. Oh my God. You really said that. Okay. If you're using the bathroom, you go to the fucking stall. Hopefully you wash your hands before. You go in there, you just rip a brand new one. Like you open up a piece of space time and then you just let it all go. And then you put yourself back together, wash your hands, and you get the fuck out. Done. If anything else happens, call the fucking cops and have that conversation. But until that happens, maybe you could turn on the faucet, and you know that might relax you enough to let the waters flow. It might. All right. I don't want to use a bathroom after a sticky I don't know if you're aware, but you know, females don't exactly have the cleanest of diets either. If you think roses don't smell like poo, then you must be an outcast, because women can make some foulness too. Not every woman is drinking kale shakes. Some of them are eating some prime red meat, and that is coming out the wrong end. But you somehow think that like in the history of female humans that women have never fucking fogged up the bathroom to the point that you thought it was a Stephen King novel. Oh, I hope you're married. I hope you're married, because I really want to speak to this person and say, really? So you never actually had to like rub your nose because you just the funk came and smacked you upside your face. Wow. Okay then. Okay. No, they don't get to choose all bathrooms. What makes them special? You can afford a walk. Same to you. I mean, I'm saying this as an American citizen, as a fellow human being. You know, I only want to see you happy. I know I'm making fun of you, and I'm saying, you did this, you did, and maybe not enough of that. Because if you did enough of that, you wouldn't have a kid to bring into the fucking bathroom. But either way, maybe your spit game was off. Maybe you weren't doing the double hand twist. You know, you weren't tickling some assholes. You weren't doing the proper thing to just get it on your face so it wouldn't be in there. So then we wouldn't have this conversation. But either way, it's still your decision. And I want to see you happy. So to make you happy, I'm going to tell you that transgender people are always for a parent's right to choose. I don't know a single transgender person who does not defend a parent's right to choose to be a good parent. And a good parent would be able to say, there's a lot that's going on in the world right now, we'll just eat at home. I know you wanted to go to the movies right now, but there's a lot going on in the world right now, we'll just watch a movie at home. It may not be as freeing, as liberating as, you know, telling a transgender person that you can't go to this bathroom. No, 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 no. But it might put more money back into your wallet, money that you were hemorrhaging, money that kept you from being home with your kids and having a family dinner, so that you could ask your kid, why'd you get a C? Why are you failing math? Because as a parent, you should want to know. You should have that time and that money to say, it's important for me to be involved in my child's upbringing, their education, and everything. So yes, this is very stressful. It's stressful to us too. But we're both being robbed. Transgender people and cisgender people, we're both being robbed. Because every time that we put ourselves in these public situations, we're wasting money. We're wasting money because who wants to be that transgender person who's being called names or dragged out in handcuffs just for ordering, you know, a porterhouse and having a glass of wine? That doesn't seem right. And then who wants to be that cisgender family screaming out the top of their lungs because a transgender person walked into a bathroom? Now, you don't want that either. We're both being robbed. Do you see that now? Because the restaurant owners, they don't give a fuck. The American government doesn't really give a fuck. They like to pretend that they give a fuck, and they might tell you, oh, well, you know, we'll block all the bathrooms and, you know, you can go to as many restaurants as you want. Cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. Because guess what? You're going to go out more. You're going to waste more money. Money that you could spend. You know what? How about we make a meal together? My daughter and I. Let my daughter and I make a meal together. Let's have a conversation. Let's bond together. Let's use that time where we would have been at a restaurant and your kid would have been on your phone or staring at an iPad because that's so lovely. You know, you spent that lovely night doing all this to have someone sit at a table with an iPad and right in front of their face instead of talking to you and saying, thank you so much for this meal that I didn't pay for. You're being robbed. Do you see that now? Because it may be a transgender person trying to tell you this, so it may seem a little uncomfortable to talk about, but Americans are hurting for money. And all I do is try to put more money into American pockets. If you follow my channel, and I invite you to actually subscribe to my channel, because I talk about how I have a free solar program here in Los Angeles that I'm trying to set up so that we have a divorce between ourselves and a utility company. A utility company that says every month, you owe us money for electricity. And for the longest time, we've always said, well, I mean, I didn't make the electricity. My name isn't Aurora Monroe. I didn't cause those sparks. My name isn't Electro. You know, I don't have electricity shooting out my fucking fingers. I guess I have to pay the money to this company to do so. But that's not true. It's never really been true. Number one, sometimes you don't need electricity to get most things done. And other times, if you do use electricity, you could get it from other sources. You can actually have a solar panel in your own house. They talk about having solar energy in here in California, but is it truly solar energy if you have to pay them for it? No, that's not solar energy at all. True solar energy is you have energy from the sun, goes to your personal battery, and then you don't pay anyone for it. You paid for your solar panel? Yeah, you did. You paid for your battery? Mm-hmm. But after that, you never pay again. Because people live in houses for nigh on 10, 15, 20 years. They let their whole family grow up in that. But you live in 2025. Don't you want to teach your kid to be debt free? Don't you want to teach your kid, hey, that's money I could use towards something else? Start now. I'm going to get back into this. So many. Okay. Bruce Wayne, I'm a gay, but my parents aren't accepting my existence. That's a tough one because you're conditioned because of blood and family bonds that these are the only people who will understand you, only people who will love you unconditionally. But if they love you conditionally, if they love you only if you are something that you can never really be, then they don't really love you. And you have to love yourself. If you're an adult, or even if you're not, if you're a teenager and you feel like your family doesn't get you, then just leave. Emancipate yourself. You'll be a stronger person for it. And I know that that's not exactly the PC way of going about it, because a lot of people would say, no, try and ease them into it, find a way to like tone down some of your tendencies. I'm like, no, if you can't grab your partner, your lover, whoever you're seeing, your best friend, and put your arm around them and give them this like a little kiss on the cheek, then walk away. Walk away, because you're saving yourself a lot of hurt, because you can't keep going to a place of hurt and expect to receive love and support. I mean, that's how I feel about the United States in general. I want to be maybe forgiving. I want to learn to accept people back into my life. But every time that I've done that, I've just gotten hurt worse. So at a certain point, I just said, no, I can't put myself out there. Don't be like me. Find the right people to put yourself out there with, and let them love you and appreciate you. Because we don't talk about the power of friendship, true friendship. Like, you only get so many opportunities to have a best friend. A lot of people say that word, but that doesn't mean anything until you really have a best friend. When you're really down and out, when you are heartbroken or broke or in trouble, if you don't have that one person who's known you for years and will be there, no questions asked, then you need to find that person. All right, let me get back into... A pregnant woman is most likely to get dye via her partner. I'm not exactly sure what that is. Two-spirit trans person is enough answer for the lot of us. I could only go off of my understanding of cultural history and everything, but being a person who is Native American, we didn't have gender assignment surgeons. we just had this belief that if you felt a certain way, that's how you are. You know, you let spirits go in and out of you. You let ancestors come into your body, walk around through your skin. You let animals speak through you. We're a lot more open to the mysticism of the world, that we don't have to censor ourselves with, could you butch up? Because if you're part of a tribe, you're part of the tribe, you're a part of the community. These are people who have grown up with you. These are people, and even if that tribe is just you by yourself, which is perfectly all right, you know, because that's my situation. I'm a tribe to myself. I have to be more accepting of myself. And if my version of gender identity is traditional Scotsman with a beard, and I use the pronouns they, them, so fucking be it. All right. Hey, I'm running on a treadmill. Okay, good. You from? I'm on Los Angeles. I actually, good for you. Commander Uncle Sam, go home. You are just a bigot. You project your own bigotry on the world. I never said that I didn't have hate in my heart. I have hate in my heart, and damn right I do. I live in America. America thrives on making you hate other people to control you. But I'm telling you the facts. I don't truly hate women. I hate women who sexually abuse people. I hate women who are rapists. I hate criminals. I don't have a problem with women. I have a problem with criminals. The only problem is, you know, I don't have the LAPD and Metro Los Angeles handling their business and being on ride-alongs or following up on reports to protect citizens. So if they're not doing that, then I have to have that. I'm the veteran who screams. I'm the veteran who screams in your face, get the fuck away from me. I'm the veteran who sees you coming toward me and says, no, I have to go over to the other side of the area because I don't want you near me. Because I don't want to have that interaction of, hello, how you doing? Yeah, you look hot. It's just like, no, I don't want to have any conversation with you whatsoever. I mean, it doesn't mean that I hate you. It just means that so many people have fucked up. I was on the Long Beach bus and some woman wouldn't take no for an answer. I was sitting next to her and she's just like, fine, I'm just gonna fucking grab your crotch. And so she grabbed my crotch. She didn't say, I'm gonna grab his crotch. She went ahead and did it. Bold as fuck, and I screamed. I screamed, no, because no means no. And somehow California women do not understand that. Texas women understood that. Texas women would not even try that. And I was transsexual as fuck in Texas. I talk about it with such delight because I had my full beard, my makeup, feminine clothing, dresses, high heels, whatever the fuck I wanted to wear. And guess what? No one gave a shit. No one gave a shit. It was fucking beautiful. People were more inclined to party with me than to say anything. And I rode public transportation up and down the fucking city. No one fucking said anything. No one said, oh, you can't use that bathroom. No one even gave me that. You know why? Because they're more enlightened. They're more enlightened. There are salt of the earth people who say, I have to worry about where I'm getting my next meal. I don't have time to worry about whatever gender issues you fucking have. That's how they fucking play it. They weren't rude. They weren't like overly accepting. They just didn't fucking care. And you know what? I took it. And then I came to LA because I said, No, I want community. I want to be around my own people. Fuck that. Fuck that. All right, let's get back into hello, Belinda. Love a good gay, lavish lifestyle. Yes, honey. Yes. Like, I'm doing this right here, and if this makes your blood boil, like, I don't know, I'm cool as fuck. So, are you a fan? I had to. Okay. Journey of my life. Hey, honey. Blessings. Thank you so much, Jenny. And by the way, I am slowly but surely making my way towards Canada. So hopefully I can end this LA drama, because it's just been drama living here. You know, I came here so I could enjoy maybe a community. I haven't even been to West Hollywood because it's so difficult to get there from here. And I have to go through so much stuff. Sorry, I don't think you got an upskirt from that. Wow. Belinda, you're a very wise gay man. I'm bisexual. I still hold hopes that I find some European or Canadian musician particular who finds me extremely fetching and wants to bed me, because I'm looking forward to being out of America and back into a safe space where I can fuck women again. Because not in America, because it just fucking turns me off when, you know, some disgusting old bitch tries to grab my fucking crotch in public without my permission, without my consent. It pushes me the wrong way. But if I maybe move to Canada, or maybe move to Europe with the right woman in the right setting, and, you know, lots of alcohol, anything could happen. I have PTSD, but I mean, that doesn't stop a sexual drive. Women are fucking lovely, very soft lips, beautiful, and easier to talk to than most men. I'm not gonna stick my fucking hot dog down an American poop chute when I can have better. And I deserve better, so I'll go get that. What do you like about women over men? Sensuality. Absolutely sensuality. I mean, there is something to being very physical with another man, but there's something very different when you make love. It's erotic, it's sensual, it takes time. You actually have to learn a person's body. You're not just saying, I have to do this one thing over and over and over again until one of us gets off so we can get the fuck out of here. Like that rush that men have. Women don't fucking have that. Women want you to fucking take your time. Especially if you're doing it right. Then they want you to slow down and take your time. That's what I appreciate. And, you know, the little things, you know, you snuggle, you cuddle, you know, you have someone asking, you know, how was your day? You know, just this connection, which is denied me because I have PTSD from military sexual trauma, and I have the women of California who have just fucked over the women of California by fucking sexually abusing, assaulting, and harassing me on LA Metro. So, yeah. It's a pity, you know, because there are very beautiful women here, but like I say, you know, it rubbed me the wrong way, and with my PTSD and with everything, nah. I'll hold out for my Canadian rock goddess princess if she's available. If she is not available, I will cry. I will definitely cry. But I would rather have that than what's available here. Don't you want to be gay only forever? I would, but gay lifestyle has kind of degraded for me. I mean, look at me. Like, I've got my nail polish on. I've got a Scottish kilt on. Like, I don't shave. I bathe. I don't really shower. I smell and I stink like a man. And some men are fucking off-put by that because they would rather pluck their fucking hair. They would rather perfume themselves like a flower, a delicate flower. I'm not fucking into that. I don't even think they're into that because they'd rather smell a fucking rugged man too. So mutually, gay culture and I are like this. All the men that I want to fuck right now, they're not in California because California men are fucking pussies. And I don't like pussy. I do not. I want someone who's just as in touch and enlightened as myself. A man who says, I like ball sweat. I find ball sweat to be the most delicious perfume that there is next to bacon. I want a man to fucking say those words to me on my wedding day. That's what I want. Talk about vows, that's the vow. There are plenty of gay men who like a kilt. Not in this neighborhood. Not in this neighborhood at all. When I lived in Texas, there was a lovely man who came on the disco and he was wearing a kilt. And he was free as fuck. Free as a fucking bird. I want that freedom. I want a partner who appreciates that freedom and wants to be free with me. I want a lover who literally says at any given moment, lift it up and have at it because I want it to. No fumbling with the pants, no fumbling with shirts. It's just lift and let's go. Because I feel it, you feel it, we both want it, we both consent, and we want it, and we're gonna have it. That's what I want. I want true romance, and I'm drooling over that because that is such a fucking hot image, and I'm not getting any right now. Fucking California is the biggest cock blocker that there ever is. Like, whatever. There are plenty of gay men who like a kilt. I am living the fucking Outlander lifestyle that I've always wanted. By myself. And fuck. If I could actually go to West Hollywood and just be myself, I would pretty much fucking clean up. I would fucking clean up, but I can't do it through a fucking sea of sirens and harpies trying to fucking pour up my fucking stuff. Just no thank you. No. And I can't really go online and, try and get, because it's just nothing but ugly, desperate people on there. Because you're fucking ugly and desperate too. So let's be honest. Like, I don't really consider myself much of a catch. I've got a nice tight body, but, I love to eat, I love to cook, I love to, enjoy myself. A little sip now and then. But this lifestyle, this whatever, I'm not putting up with it. It's just nonsense. It really is. And if I move to Canada, move to Scotland, move anywhere, I'm not guaranteeing things will be different. But at least if I move to Scotland, I could wear this with pride and not have to put up with, American people, constantly trying to, feel me up. It's just something I think about. But that's all, I didn't really mean to talk all the way about transgender issues, but somebody brought it up in the chat. And what am I going to do? Like, not talk about it? It's on everybody's minds. It gets people fucking riled up over nothing. And it is nothing. like I said, either we need to have a presidential statement. We need to have a presidential statement. This is on you, President Donald Trump. You know, say it one way or the other. If you say, yeah, it's better for fucking business, it's better for the fucking country to move forward and just okay it right now, great. But if you say no at an executive level and put that into a law that you're going to use with your extra executive powers, you make an emergency, no transgender P Act, whatever it is, you're going to have a bit of a backlash. And it might be for the best. It might be for the best because transgender people are fucking culinary geniuses who've been wasting their money on these restaurants who wouldn't defend their right to use the bathroom. If you go to a restaurant or a bar and they don't say, well, you paid for a meal here, you're our guest, of course you could use the bathroom. Fuck it, use our bathroom in the back. Whatever makes you fucking comfortable, you're a fucking customer. But no. And transgender people are like, it's just not fair. It's just not fair. I'm treated terribly. I'm like, treat yourself better. Respect yourself enough to say, well, fuck it. If that motherfucker wouldn't let me use the bathroom, if that fucking bitch called the cops on me for fucking using the bathroom in that restaurant, then I need to buy my own restaurant. Fuck it. That's how an American should think. An American should think with the capitalist mindset when it comes to politics. You're not going to change small town minds. Stop trying. Holding up a little protest and a little rainbow flag. A little rainbow flag isn't going to change a person's mind. What's going to change their mind is, wow, that new transgender owned restaurant is giving like 50% off as a grand opening, and the food is really good. The music is just amazing. The customer service is great. I guess I'm gonna go over there instead of here. Yeah, that's gonna happen. And when these transphobic restaurant owners have to look at some dumb cisgender not faces, but face, because they'll lose customers, they might think differently. But that's the only language they understand. Same thing with veterans' rights. There's the Thunderbolt movie coming out with Marvel right now. I'm a huge Marvel fan. It breaks my heart to not see a Marvel film the first time it comes out. But guess what? That's exactly what's going to happen. I'm not going to go see Thunderbolts because I can't afford it. I can't even afford food because I don't have my disability benefits. So that will be the show for the day because, I'm just a disabled American veteran and I'm always going to be considered less than in this country. So I will respect myself enough to go where I'm appreciated. Thank you everyone for coming in. I appreciate everything. I appreciate you, Belinda. Thank you so much. I'll probably join you again in a few minutes. Give me a sec, but thank you so much everyone for coming in. Thank you, Joni. Thank you, everyone. Like I say, you're entitled to come in here and be yourself. Don't be rude. I'll be the rude person for you. Thank you. This has been Countdown to Canada. I'm IanXIlyana. I hope to see you again soon.